This is the Dick and Conversation podcast. I'm Elissa. If this is your first time joining me, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've been listening to me for a while, welcome back. If you are listening to me, you've probably been listening to me or probably are listening to me on Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, and you're probably looking at me on the tube of you. My socials are Instagram, Dick and Conversation underscore podcast. My Facebook page is Dick and Conversation podcast Facebook page. My YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and share, is Dick and Conversation podcast channel. My email, because you can always email me, is dickandconvo@gmail.com. And my blue sky, because I'm not on Twitter, is Dick and Convo, uh, bsky.social. I got it. So I have a guest today, and I have been wanting her to be back, because she's been on before, be back for a while. If you were listening to me way back, if you were A1 from day one, then you know my guest has been on here before when we talked about going to Louisiana and how we just pretty much stayed in the hotel and went and ate it. That was it till the very last night when that was. I go back and listen to the episode. So I think it's called Liquor Store or something like that. But she is now an author. She has a published book, My Pain, My Power, and My Pain, My Story, My Journey, My Life. So I'm honored to have her here. We're going to have a conversation. I have questions, and I want to try to not be too formal because I know her, and she knows me, but I still want to have the conversation and get through the questions. So please welcome Ericka McDole.
Hello, hello.
Hello. I know, right? So I'm glad you did it. And here's his first question out the gate. Well, no, before we do that, tell us about you. Tell us about yourself. What you want us to know.
My name is Ericka McDole. I'm a mother, a wife, a grandmother.
Eyes are burning.
I love people. I don't like the behaviors of people, but I love people. Um, I'm sure a lot of people already know me, Lissa.
I
You
know.
know.
But that's why this book is so important, because people don't know you. People think they know you.
They do think they know me, but they
They
don't.
think they know you, or they know a narrative of you. There are people who may know you and have never met you,
And
which
have a prejudged um, perception based on what they've heard.
exactly. And a lot of times when people tell something, they tell their version of it and not necessarily how it actually happened. So
Absolutely.
that's why this book was so important.
Absolutely.
Why
I,
now?
um, well, I've been trying to write this book since 2014. I'm a journaler. I'm a big proponent for therapy, and
Mm.
one of the things that I've learned to do through therapy is journal. So I'm a journaler, and based on some of the things that have happened in my life around 2014, I just wanted to get it out, and so I was like, I should write a book.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, I guess it wasn't time for me to write that book because it would not have been the book that I birthed now. It wouldn't have been a book of healing. It wouldn't have been a book of forgiveness. It wouldn't have been a book of growth. It would have probably been a Tubi movie.
That's
So,
what, yeah, right.
like I said, things were happening. I didn't realize that I was still going to be in the storm for an extended period of time. So,
Mm-hmm.
I would go through things and go through depression. Just life was life, and so I never really got a chance to finish it. I'm going to use your term right now. I'm in a sweet spot right now,
Mm-hmm.
and my mind is clear.
Yeah.
And just looking at a lot of the old journals that I have, because I have journals from years ago, and I don't throw them away. So I had looking at the journaling and even looking at the start of the manuscript from back in 2014. I decided I was going to go ahead and put it all together. Like I said, because I'm in a different place also. So
Mm-hmm.
it came from a different place. And I think people would be more able to receive it. Like, I'm not a messy person. And if I would have authored the first book I wanted to, it would have
Mm-hmm.
been quite messy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what I want. I don't like to
Right.
entertain and that type of stuff. So this was just the time. And I'm pretty pleased with it.
Good. I forgot to show the cover. So the cover, here's the cover of the book. It is not out just yet. It will be available. Um, they will be able to order it on Amazon, and that is the cover. Beautiful cover. My pain, my power. My pain, my story, my journal, my life. And it has you. It has your name and a lot of information that's in there. But like you say, it's not the Tubi movie. We all can do the Tubi. Like as much mess as I've told on this podcast, I still haven't told the Tubi movie version. So
Right. And
eh,
I was on some growth stuff. I use my middle name. I
I
don't
know.
even tell people my middle name.
I know. Yeah, I know it's Erica L. But here's the thing. I read the book and
Hmm.
I cried. I laughed. I cried again. Then I laughed some more. And then at a certain point I was like, okay, well, you stop crying, stop crying. But here's the thing. Those of us that experience the book in real time know some of the details that aren't in the book. So
Hmm.
it's kind of the thing like, oh, I remember. Oh, and
Yeah.
so you because it's about especially about your life and a great chunk of it is about your marriage. So those
Hmm.
of you who know those of us who know you and your husband basically know you all since you were teens. So
Yeah.
the people who will read the book will know the details of what had happened. So I don't
Yeah.
want to give too much of the book away, but I do have questions. Um,
Okay.
I I put them into categories. As I read the book, it was like, oh my God, this would jump out, and I would just like open up my OneNote and either copy the quote and put it over there, or a question or something that jumped out, and I was like, okay, I want her to expound on this. And the
Okay.
first thing that's on here that I copied and pasted was a quote. My childhood memories are a collage of contradictions. Then what else jumped out about that was too much and not enough. So I would love for you to expound on that because a lot of us are sometimes feeling like you too much or you hear you too much or you too extra. But if that's a contradiction in your life, I want you to expound on the
Absolutely. I think I was placed in situations or circumstances that a child should not be placed in, um, which probably resulted in me acting out
Mhm,
and being labeled at that time as, you know, too grown, too much, had a bad attitude,
mhm,
when really I was trying to process things that had been going on.
mhm,
Um, the one thing that it made me was I don't take what children say lightly.
mhm,
I
mhm,
really pay attention to children. Um, I know that children don't have the capability to really lie about certain things
mhm,
unless they've been exposed to them.
mhm.
And so it really
It looked like
made
your
me.
camera's off. Is your camera off on your end?
Nope, it just said
Okay.
nope.
Okay,
Is
there
it
you
there?
go. Nope, we're
Okay.
good. We're good.
Yep. It just really made me hone in on, as an adult, hone in on children. Not to say that I want to be a teacher or nothing like that, but I just pay
Hmm.
attention to the things that I just pay attention to the things that kids say,
Right.
um, and I don't sweep nothing under the rug. I really don't
Right.
play about kids, and
Right.
it's based on things that I went through as a child. Um, those things that I went through also made me a very angry child.
Hmm.
Um, to go through things and then not be believed
Hmm.
makes you angry when you
Hmm.
know you're telling the truth.
Hmm.
Um, so I grew up as like an angry child, angry teenager, and it bled on into my marriage. You
Mhm.
know, when we had conflict, it was basically, you hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you back.
Mhm.
Or I felt better by being physical.
Mhm.
Um, as far as bleeding into my parenting, I was very, very, very protective of my children.
Right.
I didn't let them go nowhere.
Right.
I mean, nowhere. I think the only place that they probably used to stay the night was over my mother-in-law's house.
Mhm.
Other than that, well, my sister when they got older, but
Right.
she was younger than I. So for the most part, my kids wasn't going nowhere,
Right.
period. Because I felt like if they got placed in a position and they weren't protected,
Mhm.
it was going to be bad
You
for
feel like
everybody.
yeah. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Which pulls out the term that jumped out in the book, and that's another one of the things about hyper vigilance. You say
Absolutely.
you're labeled hypervigilance. For people who don't know what that term means, explain what it looks like. What so when people see someone like, oh my God, they're this, but it's a term for it. Like how you
Yeah,
say you're
it would
defensive.
be it would be compared to when people say you're too much or too
Hmm.
overprotective or too emotional or too
Hmm.
much of anything.
Hmm.
That would be hyper vigilance. Depending on where your trauma came from, you could be too much of whatever that was that triggered that particular
Hmm.
trauma. For
Hmm.
me, I was very protective. I needed to be in control of everything.
Hmm.
I had to be in you know, need to know environment. I needed to know everything. I was a need to know person.
Hmm.
Um, it was kind of like a double edged sword because at the same time of me being like majorly overprotective with my kids, I think it kind of maybe hindered them a little bit
Hmm.
because I didn't give them a chance to really make mistakes that they needed to make because
Hmm.
I just didn't want them to deal with things that I dealt with. You know, as parents, we're always trying to
Hmm.
be better than what we feel like we went through.
We try to be the parent that we wish we would have had. Like we
It's
try to be who we wanted or
right.
what we needed.
Or what we needed.
Mhm.
Not even
Mhm.
necessarily what who we wanted, what
Mhm.
we
What we
needed.
needed. Mhm.
And a lot of times the things that we need is not material things.
Right.
Sometimes, most of the times, the things that we need are to be paid attention to,
Mhm.
the love, the nurturing, you know,
The
those
acknowledgement.
acknowledgement, those
Mhm.
things are far more important than the material things.
Mhm. Yeah. So in reading it in the first half, I don't know if I was I don't know if I was crying. I don't think I was crying at this point. But there was something that jumped out where you were giving acknowledgments. Speaking of acknowledgments, you were giving acknowledgments and in your foreword, you were thanking and said thank you for choosing accountability. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, choosing accountability.
I said,
Um,
Greg,
yeah, I didn't want to tell.
I mean,
Like I said, I'm
I
sorry.
said my
Now you can see
husband.
my right, but I don't want to tell who's sorry. You can see how my tan kicked in. So about a choosing accountability, you were thanking your husband
Yes,
because you guys have moved past that point out of the storm into this sweet spot. And there was a form of accountability that he chose to say, "Yep, I'll accept this accountability because this happened." Um, is it?
because he used to run from accountability
Mhm.
like the plague.
Mhm.
He used to absolutely run from accountability, did not want to be accountable, deflected, all of that. I mean, so for him to show accountability and responsibility
Mhm.
for things that we've gone through, that was major, 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 major for
I
me.
think it's hard for everybody. Not everybody, but those who have issues with accountability because you have to admit, okay, I was wrong. And to even be accountable for something, you have to say, I did this. I was wrong. And I'm sorry. I'm responsible for it. And a lot of people,
Exactly.
it's hard for a lot of people to do that. I mean, sometimes I was like, okay, especially when my kids are checking me. It's like, okay, I meant well. That's still
Well,
not me
even
being
an
accountable for what
apology.
happened.
Well, even an apology.
Mm-hmm.
You know, an apology is
Mm-hmm.
is one thing to say I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
but it's one another thing to say I'm sorry and really break down what you're sorry for
Mm-hmm.
or the offense. You
Mm-hmm.
know, to me, that's a more meaningful apology. If you can just say I'm sorry to shut somebody up.
Amen.
That, you know what I'm saying? That don't mean nothing, but how did you offend me? Like, what did you do to hurt me? Like, what are you really sorry for? Do you know the
Yeah.
damage that you really caused? You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Mhm. I
So
do.
I mean, that I thank God for that, because that was very, very, very big for him
I
to
hear
have
you.
that accountability.
Yeah, I hear you. Like I say, it's hard for everybody. So what in here you gave a list when you initially start off with your book. You gave a list like people may know you as Goldie or E Money or Big E. You have nicknames. If you had to give yourself a nickname right now, what would your nickname be?
Erica,
I like that.
just Erica.
Right.
It's funny because the Goldie thing came from barber school.
Hmm.
My hair was blonde for 25, 30 years. So they started calling me that at barber school, and it
Hmm.
stuck. And there's even a guy in my job now that didn't even know about me being blind ever, because I haven't been blind in the last 6 months maybe.
Hmm.
And he started calling me Goldie. And it was so ironic because I was like, that's my barber name, right? But E Money actually comes from like my nephews. I don't know why they call me that, but they always be like E Money. So, and it sticks. But
Yeah.
then Big E, it's funny about that because that actually came from somebody that didn't like me. And it was meant to be an insult.
Oh,
But I'll take
okay.
it. I'll be Big E.
Sometimes lemons
I
become
am Big E,
lemonade.
not the listen, I am Big E, not the little one.
All right now.
But
Okay.
but
Still,
if I would just be Erica.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
have never thought of none of those nicknames for myself.
Mhm,
E always has stuck, period.
mhm,
I think anybody whose name is Eric, Erica,
mhm.
whatever, with an
Elissa.
E,
I got one
Elissa,
person that calls me an E. Mhm.
they'll
What's up,
just start
E?
calling you E. So
Mhm,
everybody call me E.
mhm.
What's up, E? And I get that, but like I said, the E Money, that definitely came from my nephews, and I take it as a term of endearment when
It
it
is.
comes from them.
Mhm.
It's not an insult.
Right.
So
Mhm. It comes from a place of love.
it definitely
It
comes from
comes
a
from a
place of
place of
love,
love.
because they love me.
Right. So, still in dealing with childhood pain, you wrote about you having to grow fast and to do it involuntarily. I think a lot of that's what I was saying, and I think in the first clip we were talking about how this is a book that a lot of women, and not just only women, men can relate to this too. When you are forced to grow up fast,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
left home at
involuntary.
15. I
Ooh,
left home at
child.
15. I left home at 15 years old. Um, Never went back. And this is my, living with my mom. So
Hmm.
I think when I was pregnant with Devontae, my oldest son,
Hey,
I
chicken
went
mama.
probably to stay with, huh?
I said, hey, chicken mama.
I probably went to stay with my grandmother probably the latter part of my pregnancy.
Hmm.
But besides that, I've never gone home. I left home at 15, and I probably met Greg the week I left home. I met
Wow.
my husband the week I left home. So I would say, I think I was in like, I don't know. I just remember when we were at Saginaw High, I was in the 11th grade.
Hmm.
Because I went to Buena Vista in the 10th, and then Saginaw High in 11th. Then I ended up graduating from Ruben Daniels. So yeah, that's I was in a grown woman's position
Hmm.
as a child. Nobody to tell me when I needed to be home, because I went and stayed with one of my friends.
Hmm.
Her dad was never home.
Hmm.
It was just her and I, and we did what grown people do. We were literally grown.
Hmm. I
So
think that's something that a lot of people can relate to, a lot of women, a lot of men, where you have to become an adult and it's involuntary. It's not where you're saying, well, I want to be grown, I want to move out, but life forces you into adulthood before you're even done with childhood. and it I get it. I get, especially 'cause like I said, I know this one of them times I know the story.
But
But
you know
it's not a lot of people
funny?
like that.
You know what's funny? So I was on my own, but I wasn't. I had a little job, a little part time job at, I think they called it Kessel's then. It wasn't Kroger yet.
Okay.
So I had a little part time job, but then I got pregnant.
Mhm.
So I wasn't old enough to get assistance by myself because I was under
Wow.
18. I think I could get WIC, but I was put in a position that I had to act like a grown person because I had no supervision or no guidance.
Mhm.
But yet and still, I was still a child because I wasn't able to do the things to take care of
Mhm.
myself like a grown person can do because I was still underage. So
Mhm.
too much, too little, too little, too much. What's the balance? Like
Contradictions.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. So that's just how it was for a while.
Mm.
It was what it was. I
Mm.
remember I remember when I was pregnant with Devontae, I remember we was over there when I was staying with my friend. We didn't have no food. We had peanut butter because I had WIC. And for whatever reason, we didn't have no milk at the time. And we were eating peanut butter sandwiches with no milk. You talking about
Ooh.
smacking, but we was hungry. And when
It's such a protein.
my baby loved peanut butter right now because for a while that's all I had to eat, you know. But people don't know.
They don't know that.
So when you talk about childhood trauma, um, we all have it in some
Mhm.
form or fashion,
Mhm.
and that's why people never know what another person has been through, what kind of silent battles they're fighting,
Mhm.
and we're so insensitive just in the world. Period.
Mhm.
Um, like people just don't care about people anymore.
Right. Right.
But everybody's fighting something. If
Mhm.
you're not dealing with some type of childhood trauma, and if people don't have the knowledge or the tools to go to therapy or even go to God, go to
Mhm.
therapy, how do they get through it?
Right.
They don't have no tools to get through it.
Right.
So it's just a silent battle. And what they're gonna do, they're gonna act out, they're gonna be angry, they're gonna fight.
Trying to fix it because you're in defense mode,
You
and
in
which was yeah, you're in defense mode because you're in survival mode. You're trying to
you're in defense
survive.
mode, you're in survival mode,
Mhm.
you're hurting.
Mhm.
Uh, um, you ever felt a pain that was so bad and it just felt like it won't go
Mhm.
away, and
Mhm.
like you just want to know how can it stop?
Mhm.
And I'm not talking about a physical pain. I'm talking
Mhm.
about a pain in your soul.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
and that's what people are going through, and that's what I went through for a lot of years. And how people used to be like, "Oh, Ericka, she crazy. Oh, Ericka, she
That's
crazy,"
what
and I'm
happened.
like, I really don't care because I'm at the point now in my life I don't give a hoot nanny
I
what
was gonna
nobody
say that
said
exact
about me.
word.
I don't
That.
know what nobody said about me. But it
Mhm.
used to bother me when I was younger because I
Mhm.
wasn't crazy.
Mhm.
And it wasn't everybody's business to know the things that I went through.
Mhm.
But I was in defense mode all the time.
Mhm.
Did
Mhm.
always feel like I needed to protect myself. And if you came with the bull crap, I felt like I needed to fight.
Mhm.
That's just how it
Because you didn't
was.
have a protector. If you are a child forced into adulthood, you don't have a protector. You're just like, okay, let me figure this out. So you protect yourself, or else you
Yep.
feel like you're gonna get, swallowed up.
And I felt like if I couldn't depend on nobody else,
I could depend on
I
myself.
could depend on myself.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to let nobody hurt me.
I'm glad you said that I'm not crazy part because that was the next bullet point I had on here. I'm not crazy. And I highlighted all caps and put it in red. I'm
Uh-huh.
not crazy because that can be such a dismissive term. Like, oh, they just crazy. Oh, he just crazy. Oh, she just crazy. Like you said, they don't know the why. They don't understand that you're in survival mode or anything like that. They're looking at the actions without understanding that they're really not watching actions, they're watching reactions to
Well,
something.
like you always say in prior conversations, they know the what, but they didn't know the why.
Right. Right.
But you also have to know that everybody is not emotionally intelligent.
No.
So they don't even know to look for the why.
No.
They
They
don't
think
know
this is all there is to it. What I'm seeing,
they
why
don't
they
know.
do what they doing, that's
Yep.
it.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's
Mhm.
it. So I have learned to lower my expectations with a lot of people.
Mhm.
Therefore, I'm never disappointed. You
Which
know.
brings me to this next question about what about you say you were able to forgive those who didn't believe you. So what advice can you give others who have been or is still there about forgiving those who didn't believe?
So for that particular subject, I also said it took me almost 40 years.
Mm,
40 years of being angry.
mhm,
And I'm talking about, I said it bled into my marriage, it bled into
mhm,
my parenting. So 40 years of me having this hardened heart and just mad
mhm,
because I didn't get some acknowledgement that I felt like I should have gotten, or an apology that I felt
mhm,
like I should have gotten,
mhm,
or just a conversation. And I had to stop expecting it,
mhm,
drop them expectations all the way
mhm,
down, because
mhm.
me being angry was making me sick. See, you be angry at people and they don't have no damn idea you mad at them,
Not a clue.
and you over there sick as a dog, and they living their life. So who is it hurting? You know?
My best friend, ex best, God bless his heart, rest his soul. Roy K. He said this, and that was one of the best things he's ever said. When you bite your tongue, you not hurt nobody but yourself because you the only person who can feel it. And he said that was
Yeah.
metaphorically and literally. When you bite your tongue, you hurting yourself because you the only one that's feeling that. Whatever you have, oh, I'm freezing. Okay, there we go. Whatever you have internally, that you the only person feeling it. So when you biting your tongue, it's only hurting you. I was just like, that's so true.
And I agree.
Hmm.
And to that point, to your point, I refuse to bite my tongue about anything
Hmm.
at this point in my life. Now, just because I refuse to bite my tongue doesn't mean that I can't do it in a respectful way. It doesn't
Hmm.
have to always be confrontational.
Right.
But if I feel like disrespected, I'm going to say it.
It could be conversational.
If I feel
Hmm.
hurt, I'm going
Hmm.
to say it.
Hmm.
And also, now that forgiveness in that particular situation, I had to forgive. I just had to. It was going to kill me if I didn't.
Hmm.
And then, sometimes it's like, what is it going to change? Like, so many years have gone by.
Hmm.
Like, I'm 40 now. I'm 51 now. But at this time, I'm thinking, like, I'm 39, 40 years old. This stuff was when I was kids. Like, how is it going to benefit me to just be mad forever? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And you
Hmm.
have to look at the situation.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe this person really the one that didn't believe.
Hmm.
Maybe they just really didn't know no
They didn't
better.
know. I was thinking
Maybe
that
they was operating on the tools that
ignorance.
they had. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, and then people are dying. We lose people that we care
Hmm.
about, and I never want to be that person to be like, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, or I
Hmm.
wish I did, or I wish I woulda. I don't want to be that person.
Right.
So I'm real big on this part of my life of not only accountability and just integrity. Like, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do.
Hmm.
Period. I'm
Hmm.
gonna do what I'm supposed to do. If stuff don't work out like it's supposed to, it's not on me.
Right. I
I'm
did
not
what I was
responsible
supposed to
for
do.
nobody
Right.
else.
Right. Right.
It took me a long time to get there, and you know that.
Hmm.
It took me a long time to get there. I'm not responsible for nobody else. I'm only responsible for me. I'm
Hmm.
responsible for me and the way that I respond. And also, being that loose cannon or that person that people call crazy, you have to learn. What I learned is people will set a narrative of you, and
Hmm.
then they'll throw rocks and hide their hand,
Hmm.
or they'll trigger you or antagonize you
Hmm.
just to get you to act out so that you can fall in that category or
That
that
they're saying.
persona
Hmm.
that they've already, went out to the world and trying to make
Mhm.
it seem like you are this person. So now I have so much emotional regulation.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not gonna let nobody pull me down no rabbit hole,
Mhm.
because if I, it's just not worth it. And if I
Right.
get to the point where I lose it like that, it's just gonna be really bad. And I don't. It's
You
not worth
progress
it.
past that. I hear you.
It's not
So
worth
now we have to be with, like I said, I don't want to give too much away in the book. We want to talk about the interruption, where you talked about the interruption,
it.
and you and I have both had the same interruption. We had the exact same interruption. You took one path, and I took another path. And neither one was right, neither one was wrong. Both worked out for both of us. In the interruption you talk about, it's I just mentioned it's fidelity. This is overall infidelity.
Hmm.
And in here, you give some details about it. But here's my question for you: did it? Because I know a lot of women, when this happened, when they have experienced infidelity, they turn inward on themselves. Like, what's wrong with me? Did what
Yeah,
was I?
I did.
I was one of the.
I spent some time doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Anytime, I definitely spent some time doing that, wondering why or what's wrong with me, or did I not do enough of this? Did I not do
Mhm.
enough of that?
I did
Um,
that. Mhm.
I did all of that, but and I did it for years.
Mhm.
I did it for years,
Mhm. I did too.
and when all the reality is, when I just being real, what people decide to do, their decisions ain't got nothing to do with me. Because
Mhm.
what I can tell you now is these some big shoes to fill. I do a lot. I do everything I'm supposed to do and more.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
carry my family on my back. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Emotionally, um, take care of everybody from my husband on down to my grandkids.
Mhm.
But yes, I spent many years questioning myself, questioning my worth. And um, that when that situation happened, man, it like to kill me. You know
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
I thought I was gonna die. It
Mhm.
like to kill me.
I know how you feel. Like I
It
said, it was just we
hurt
were in
real
the
bad.
same situation.
It hurt
I it
real
pushed me to
bad.
the point of suicidal and
It
homicidal.
was really, really
So it
bad.
was, yeah,
And my
I get it.
and my thing is one of the reasons that I decided to go ahead and do my book is because it's so funny when the world thinks they know your story anyway,
Mhm.
and they, everybody talking about you, but they ain't talking about you to you,
Mhm.
but they talking about the situation.
Mhm.
So I'm like, this is my story. Let me tell my story.
Mhm.
Yeah, I lived it.
hmm I could
You
swear
know.
you looking at my notes because in here I was talking about where someone was trying to rewrite your story, where a person was trying to attempting to rewrite your story. What in detail? What does that look like? And how was what was their attempt to rewrite the story that you had that you were in the process of writing about your life and how it was going and who was in it?
Well, trying to be tactful
I know.
and tasteful.
I know.
Like I said, I'm in a place of peace at this
hmm
point in my life. So let me see. You know, when infidelity is involved,
hmm
um, the men or even sometimes the women, they always go to the person that they're involved with and say, "Well, she not doing that. Well, he not doing this, and she not doing that." And I'm trying to keep it fair and say, men or women do that.
It's the blueprint. And for those who, if you haven't been doing my podcast, go back and listen to my 3 episodes where I talk about being a side chick. I was a side chick, and I've been on both sides where infidelity came into my marriage, which ultimately was my reason for departure. But after that, then I became the thing that I hated. And it is you get a blueprint if you're dealing with someone who's married. They give you a blueprint of what this person isn't doing, and they're not. I truly believe in my heart. Initially, it's not intentional, but you as a side chick, you have this mentality. I'm being devil's advocate for a second. You think if I do what she's not, that's enough to win him over. So if he's saying she never cooks this, she never go here, she won't do this, and you start thinking as a side chick, if I do what he's telling me she don't do, that's enough to win him over. What he don't tell you are the 150 other things that she does.
Thus, they're
So
trying to rewrite your story,
rewrite your
to
story.
erase you out and insert themselves in.
Exactly. And haven't had that mentality. I'm speaking once again from a side chick perspective. You really do. That's a great way that you said rewrite the story, because you do start imagining this is what my life would be like with this man once he leaves her. This is where we're going to stay. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're, how our life together will begin, because you're
Yeah, like
thinking
he's
this
done
book
with her.
closed. Mhm.
He's done with her.
Mhm.
He's tired of her stuff, you know.
Mhm.
He's
But in the
gonna
back
leave
of
her
your mind, you
behind.
always know. You always know he's not leaving. He's not gone. He won't leave her. Because at some point you'll start, you even though you have that hope in the morning and hurt in the evening, you always still have the thought of he's not going to leave her. He's not
But the
going to
one
leave her.
thing that I do have in my emotional maturity has allowed me to have this. That's why I say it's probably a good thing that I wrote this book now
Hmm.
and not prior. Is I do not hold. You know, they always say, "What you mad at the girl for? Be mad at the dude," right?
Hmm.
And I don't hold that person entirely responsible.
Hmm.
But in for my particular situation, a little responsibility came because there were so many efforts. My
Hmm.
thing was, and I might be jumping subjects, right? When that happened, right, they tore me down so bad. I had to figure out how in the world can I get some type of control of this situation or whatever. And I might be jumping. I might be jumping because I know I'm
Hmm.
going to go into one of the chapters. And like I talked about in one of the chapters, when my husband brought me my gift home,
Mm. Hmm. Without
um,
giving it away. Yes. Hmm.
I needed him to do that so that I can grieve.
Hmm.
I don't know if you want to call it grieve,
Hmm.
but I needed to do it in the safety of my own home.
Hmm.
I never wanted to be in a grocery store or be at the mall or something with my kids and walk into it
Hmm.
unexpectedly and have to see that and give somebody else the satisfaction of seeing me break down.
It's a controlled environment and you're
So
controlling
I
it.
needed that. I needed him to do that for me.
Hmm.
So
And
that
if you don't know what
time,
you're talking about, get the book. You got to read the book. For those that don't know, get
it
the
gave
book.
me the opportunity to
Hmm.
really look at the gift, okay,
Hmm.
and realize like you looking at it and you're like, this baby, I'm just gonna say it,
Hmm.
did not ask to be here, has no idea what they're being born into.
Hmm.
Is it really fair to them to experience any of the negativity
Hmm.
that's involved in this circumstance? And I
Right.
really believe that. And people always be like, I couldn't do it, I couldn't do it. Really, that's one of the things that helped me heal,
Hmm.
because all the hatred and the rage and stuff that I had, I turned it into love and focused on her.
Right. Loving the innocence.
Loving the innocent,
Hmm.
loving the innocent. And the love wasn't fake, it's real,
Hmm. It is.
right?
Hmm.
And it helped me a lot,
Hmm.
because it could have been, and I think about my kids and I think about different scenarios of people that I know, and I'm like, I just was thinking about the innocent. Like, does she deserve to grow up and not see her siblings, you know, because of this bullshit? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I just focused on doing the right thing by her. And I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't even thinking about them other two at that time.
Mhm.
I wasn't. I really focused on her. And that is where what really helped me starting to heal. Because the more and the more that I started to love her is helping me heal. Not, and I don't know. I can't speak for other people or tell people what to do. I'm telling people what worked for me.
Right. Right.
That's what worked for me.
Right.
And
That's why I say we had the same situation, but we took two totally different paths because I was like, oh
and
hell
it's
no.
weird
Like
because
Balin, hell no, hell no.
you
Hell
know,
no.
listen, I I don't even know what to say, Lisa, because I can't thank nothing but God because I don't even know how the hell I got through the last damn
Mhm.
10 years. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie to you because it's been some tornadoes,
Mhm.
some high winds, some damage. It's been rough,
But
but
I get it. And the reason being is because this was not a chapter you had planned. As you were writing your story, here comes this chapter, and you're not writing it.
mm-hmm.
It's a chapter in your book of life. You're not writing it. You don't know what the end, how that chapter is even going to end because that's not at that particular moment. That's not what was happening, and you have to
And then
kind of like let it write itself.
I wanted to be an example for my kids,
Mhm.
not to to accept being ran over or to take
Mhm.
disrespect, just about doing the right thing, even when it's hard.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
it was very important for me to just be an example for them. And my family bought in. They
Mhm.
bought into it because
Mhm.
I did.
Mhm.
You know, the love is love. And it's
Right.
not no like ain't no stranger, ain't no
Right.
like we don't know love is love,
Right.
you know?
Right. Right. Okay. So here's, well, you didn't answer the question because I was going to ask, like, why did you take the path of most resistance, where most women, like myself, like, okay, that's I can't handle this. This on my kid. I'm finna move on.
Well,
That's not gonna happen.
in
Eh,
regards to my marriage,
Yeah.
I built my, like I said, this is my story, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
everybody may not
Mhm.
agree with it or whatever, but I built my life with this person,
Mhm.
15 years old.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to say it was a horrible mistake, but nobody's perfect. And we've all made mistakes.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it hurt like hell. But at the
Which
end of the day, I didn't want to be the person that I've seen so many people get a divorce and years later, 5 years, 1 year, 10 years, say, I shouldn't have let my husband go. I shouldn't have let my wife go. I should have fought.
Mhm.
I said, hell, if I'm going to fight, I'm going to fight now.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm.
So, I mean, that was for me. Now, I'm not going to say that it was times where I was praying to God, like, hey, Lord, um, I'm going to quit asking you what I want, and I'm just going to ask for your will.
Right.
If
Right.
you want this to be, let it be. If you
Right.
don't,
Right.
let me go. Free me. I'm not going to say
Mhm.
that I didn't have those prayers because times, there's been some really rough patches.
Mhm.
But for me, I really don't believe, me personally, I don't believe in divorce.
Mhm.
Um, I know you used to always asking me,
What's
where
your
is the
break?
line?
What's the line? What's your break point?
And I
Mhm.
told you what the breaking point was.
Mhm.
Um, and he would teeter on that mud,
Mhm.
but he never crossed the breaking point. He would teeter, and people would say, "Oh, the baby wasn't the breaking point." Well, I had already forgave him for that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or tried. And I don't want to say that I didn't forgive him. I didn't get a chance to properly grieve
Mhm.
because I went straight into from being hurt to being in superwoman mode or
Mhm.
something or mommy mode, or I just was always fight or flight. you
Mhm.
know, survival mode.
And
I never.
forgiveness is a process. I was so glad my pastor said that the other week when he was up preaching. Like forgiveness really is a process. Like people, even if you read it in the Bible, like you, yes, you know, you forgive your brother 70 times 7, but in a day, but it's not that simple. Where you say I forgive you and it's over and you've forgotten. It takes time. For it
And
can
not
happen
only is it
over
a
and over.
process, not only is it a process, it's cyclical. It's
Very much
something you have to, and it's a conscious decision,
to
and it's
forgive.
something that you have to do every day.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say that my brain still work. You know, I blood still flow through my brain. My mind is good. I'm not gonna say that I don't think about stuff and feel some type of way.
Hmm.
But like I said, I've learned emotional regulation and I look at the big picture, right?
Hmm.
And I choose to forgive. And like I said, it's every day. But what people don't understand, forgiveness is not the only thing that's cyclical or that's intentional or that's an action word. So is love.
Hmm. Hmm.
People say I love you all the time and to turn around and do the worst shit to you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I had at one point I was like, I'd rather be respected than love, because when you respect me, then the love gonna fall up under that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Or they'll say loyalty or whatever that case may be. And I mean, it all falls the same, but
But
that's pretty.
and this is a theme that I've been saying probably as long as I've had this podcast and talking to, quite a few. I don't know why I talk to a lot of men. I guess they feel a safe space with me. Um, a lot of times we don't know what it looks like. And we say, "Oh, I love you." Like you say, they'll say I love you and then do the worst shit to you because they don't really know what
What
love
it looks like.
looks like. Right. Love is not just I love you and good night, have a great day. It's not that. It is like you say, it is the hard part. It is forgiving every day. It is okay, I messed up. It's all of that taking accountability. It is the consideration of you and I all the time.
And
All
some
the time.
and what do we always talk about partnership.
Oh Lord, that's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if I don't get married again, I just want a great partnership. I would love a great partnership because that means more than someone, oh, I love you. Yeah,
But if
okay.
you think about it, I mean, just to be real, if you think about it, I know um, we've been through a lot in our marriage,
Mhm.
but I mean, some people have had 15, 16 different partners. And I'm
Child.
not judging, I'm not knocking them or judging them.
Right.
But you got to think about it. I've been with this man since I was 15 years old.
Mhm.
So we went through every stage of life together.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
adolescence, young adult, um, all the way up to middle
Being
age,
parents, now y'all grandparents. Right.
you know,
Pop
middle
pop
age,
grandma.
midlife crisis, menopause.
Mhm.
You know, we went through every stage of life together. And every stage of life, you're supposed to get better
Mhm.
as you grow older.
Mhm.
But everybody don't move at the same pace.
And not only that, it may not necessarily be smooth transition because each time you move into another realm of living or
Higher
life.
level, higher devils, more devils.
I was gonna say you have now moved into an area you've never been in before. Like how you from adolescence and just learning to grow up to be a young lady or growing up to be a young man or raising yourself or
Absolutely.
workplace. And then when you move into parenthood, you've never been into parenthood until you become a parent. And then even after that, okay, our kids are grown and gone and this is a new era. So you expect some resistance, some hesitation, some, disagreements to come along because this is new. You're in a new transition that you haven't been in before.
Yeah, and I'm not the same person that I was in
Mm-mm.
my 20s.
Girl, you
I'm
ain't the
not
same
the
same person you was last year.
I'm just about to say it. I'm not the same person I was last year.
No.
So just think about it. If we change from our 20s to our 30s to our
Hmm.
40s to our 50s, it might change a couple times within that decade. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's all growth.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to jump like I'm going in an order of thinking about my book, and it just put me in the mind of therapy. Like I told you, I'm a
Mhm.
super strong proponent of therapy. Some people don't like it. Some people think it's a waste of time. And I always say therapy is not one size fit all. You
Mhm.
know, you find a therapist that works for you. And then when I went to that IOP, and I had to go to that IOP, I felt like that was me being really emotional responsible going to there, because if I didn't go to that IOP, it was a very good chance I was going to be a ward of the state.
Mhm. Mhm. I caught what you threw. I caught it.
Exactly. So I
Which is
had to.
the section that I'm in now. We built for and here's a quote from your book about this chapter is for women who were judged by a single moment and not the life that led up to it. So
Up
you
to
had a
it.
particular moment that is extremely pivotal and you chronicle it in the book. Um I think I always used to say when we worked Lord, when we worked at Wolverine way back, that everybody is 10 seconds away from a total life-changing decision.
All it takes is one provocation
One.
for somebody to snap. And
One.
nobody knows how close a person is to that point of
Yes.
provocation.
Yes.
Nobody knows. So
Yes.
that's why we need to be mindful of how we treat people,
Yes.
mindful of how we even talk to people, because you don't know what point you're going to get to where a person going to snap.
Mhm.
And unfortunately for me, I got to the point where I snapped.
Mhm.
Not just because of the situation, but because of the situation. You
Mhm.
already know how I am about my family,
Mhm.
my husband, my kids,
Mhm.
you,
Mhm.
my mama, my sister, whatever. You know how I am about my family.
Mhm.
So I was to the point where I felt like everything that I had worked for, everything that I loved, was being threatened. What do a person do when they feel like they're being threatened?
Mama bear. Right. You go into attack mode or defense mode or whichever way you feel. Is
Defense mode, attack mode, they
whatever the
might be the
situation.
one and the
And
same.
that's why I'm saying me and you have had similar situations. The only difference is you had a residency and I didn't because she wouldn't get out of that van.
Yeah.
But baby, she got that van. It's, similar situation. And it is, like you say, it is a snapping. It is, I am exhausted. I had a conversation with strapping young lad, and we were talking about how some of the reactions that people have done. And I said, here's the thing you need to know about women. And I think I've even told, oh, hell, I've told a few men this. When a woman feels she has nothing to lose, like you gone, baby, it's balls to the wall. So
Balls to the
to
wall.
the wall. I'm not gonna lose you anymore if I cut your tires and bust your window if I feel you already gone. So at the very least, what I'm going to do is generate a conversation between us where you come up to me and say, man, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Why are you acting a fool? Because now I got you again. I got you engaging with me. But if I feel like you really gone, you're not coming back to me, you have left me, you're not going to talk to me anymore, you're not going to see me anymore, busting your windows out means nothing. I'm I, you snap. You like
Yeah.
it's balls to the
I
wall.
mean,
And I think a lot of women get there. And this is for men who watch my podcast. When you think about, oh, she acting up, it's escalating. You don't
well,
know when she finna go balls to the wall. It's a polite way to let her down.
well, that's
Mm.
again, that's one of the reasons that I went ahead and wrote this book,
Mm-hmm.
because when I was going through, it seems like the Lord brought people around me that was going through the same
Oh
situation. It was
yeah.
crazy. And then, like, say for instance, the people that I thought would be there for me wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord put people around me that I needed. You know what I mean? Like, I am really grateful for the village
Mm-hmm.
that, and it's different women
Mm-hmm.
that probably don't even necessarily, they're not even from the same, like they don't hang around each other and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, but they served a purpose and they supported me and they held me up in a time where I really needed somebody. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like, I was messed up. Depression had hit hard,
It's
you know?
it's ugly. It's ugly. I think people don't
Mhm.
understand depression is very, very ugly when it's true when you're truly
When
in
it's
that
really
state. Yes.
not
Not
pretend depression.
right.
But I said that
Even
in
if
the
you're going to
book.
work. Mhm.
I said it in the book. It's not something that you're going to post on Facebook for pity.
Mhm.
This is this depression that nobody sees.
Right.
That that only, the people that's in your
Yes.
walls see.
Mhm.
The not being able to get out the bed,
Mhm. Mhm.
the the mental,
Were you
man, torture,
broken? Were you
broken,
broken?
crumbled to pieces.
Broken.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Like I was
um,
saying, I think that was you and I were talking about this the other day, and I know I talked to somebody else about it, about when you in that moment and you're broken and you can't get out the bed, or you listening to sad songs and this is me. I
mhm,
saw someone else put it on TikTok, and I was like, damn, I thought that was I was the only person who did this. Where you hear a song and you're crying, or you miss the part of the song where you really cry hard, so you'll back the song up to that part to make you cry hard, so you can hurt again.
I
It's
ain't
almost
been
like,
right there with
ooh,
that.
oh my God.
I
Hey, well, not long ago, You Plus Me with Mary J. Blige was taking me there, and I was like, "Oh dang, hold on, let me start the song over again." And oh my God, ooh, I was, I was good and stayed on my feet, part like, oh, let me hear. Oh,
think
let me
about
start again.
and I'm sure you know this, but think about being so low like that. But when you get out
I
in the
know.
world, you ever see that art? It's an art picture where it's like a mask and it's like a face that's just
Yes,
like destroyed, and the mask that they're holding
it's
is smiling.
smiling. Mhm.
So imagine
Mhm.
being so torn and broken.
Mhm.
Then when you go out into the world, you got to be
Mhm.
like,
All the
hey,
time.
and
Hey.
then people dumping on you because people still gravitating towards you,
Mhm.
and they dumping on you. They don't even know you damn near about to die yourself. Shit.
I know, like I said, you and my friend Shannon, my best friend Shannon, hey Shannon, where you always say, listen, I didn't know you was going through this. I didn't know it because I'm a suffering silence, crying in the dark person. But when I got up, throw my stuff on, grab my laptop, and go to work. Hey, girl, how you at? Yeah. Don't know. I haven't slept in 2 days. I'm sick. I'm broken. I'm shattered. I can't get up. I haven't taken a shower. I don't want to eat. I just want to sit and listen to Mary J. Blige, You Plus Me.
But again, I think about the people that God placed in my life
Mhm.
that was able to give me, and you was,
Mhm.
you number one on the list.
Mhm.
But other people that gave me that push when I couldn't do it myself. And
Mhm.
here's the best thing about it: I never heard about none of it. None of it was ever
Mhm.
repeated.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Because we've
All
been
those
there.
all those women, and if they watching this podcast and they know who they are, like, the love I have for them
Mhm.
is indescribable,
Mhm.
because that was just the realest. But that's what I try to be to people too.
Mhm. Be the
That's
friend
what I
of the
try.
friend. Yeah, be the
That's
friend is
that's what I
the
try to
friend
be
to
to
the friend.
people.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, you should be able to have a safe space
Mhm.
or somebody that you can confide in and ain't got to worry about everybody talking about your stuff. Hell, everybody think they know anyway. I used to go
I
on
do.
Facebook and not even go on Facebook, but see people, or people call me and tell me somebody then asked about me and my husband. Is we together? Is we getting a divorce?
Mhm.
And they
Mhm.
heard this, and I was like, why is these motherfuckers all worried about me? I
Mhm.
ain't even in there.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
That
Like,
was a
why am
question
I in
I
my
had on
motherfucking
here. That was a
business?
question, but I had skipped over it about having to go through your interruptions publicly and with social media. Because
It
I
annoyed
I
me.
had deactivated my account when I was going through my separation. I deactivated my Facebook for like 6 months. Back then you could do that. You can't do it anymore. But it was deactivated but it was still public because people were seeing him moving on. People were
Well,
seeing them, and it's like, okay, I have to live this sort of out loud publicly. Like, how? And here's the thing: what is your advice? Because there are women who still going through it right now, where the side chick pictures popping up on Facebook, where it's pictures of him and he ain't paying no attention. He don't even know he done took them pictures, and they done put them up like, oh, this my baby, my. that
Yeah, that
kind of stuff.
right there, that bullshit. Yeah, but for me,
What worked for you? Just in case, like,
so
because
I'm gonna
I know
say
it's people
this,
gonna do it.
and this has been my favorite saying. I get talked about, I don't get confronted. So they can talk all they want to. Nobody dare came to ask me nothing about my business. And the people that mattered the most
Mm-hmm.
knew the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying? The people
I
that
got
count,
you.
and this is whether they were close friends or close family.
Mm-hmm.
The people that knew what was the real deal,
Mm-hmm.
what's really going on, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They knew what was up. That's all
Mm-hmm.
that mattered to me. Everybody else just ain't got
Going with
nothing
the
to do,
narrative.
got no life.
Mm-hmm.
And, we were entertainment. It
Mm-hmm.
is what it is. Like, that shit, next week it'll be somebody else, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, and I say this in every facet of life, I get talked about. I don't get confronted. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a damn what nobody got to say about me.
Mm-hmm.
And you damn sure ain't finna go ask him about our business.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna ask him, and you ain't finna ask me.
Mm-hmm.
And I share what I want to share,
Mm-hmm.
and I let you think what you want to think.
Mm-hmm. Because they have no decision making power,
You have
or
no
they
bearing.
can't
You have
change the
no bearing on my life.
situation.
You have no bearing on my life.
Exactly.
You're not paying our bills.
Yeah.
You're not
Mm-hmm.
doing none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
but
Yep.
that's growth. I ain't always been like that.
I know. Which takes me into doing the work. So here's the thing. In here, I got that one goal. I already told you I got the one goal. So in here, there's a quote. You have I ain't finna crown this one part. On unbecoming. How did you decide what you wanted to unbecome, unlearn, unfeel, unthink?
So, the things that were doing me the most harm,
Mm, yeah.
I wanted to unlearn how to feel like I had to have control over everything.
Mm,
Because I ain't got control over nothing.
right.
I don't have control over my kids. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have control over my husband. I ain't got control over my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to get really, really, really deep, I ain't even got control over myself because the God has the last say
Mm-hmm.
over all of us anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that I want to unlearn because that was part of my anxiety or depression or my nervousness is feeling the need to be in control all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But to my defense, my husband made me like that.
Mm-hmm.
See, people think that, oh, she's just controlling. She wants to do this. No, my husband made me like that.
Mm-hmm.
He made me like that. He wanted me to take care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wanted me to make all the decisions. He didn't want to talk to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I had to learn that I don't have to be in control of everything. Everything does not have to all fall on my shoulders.
Right.
Whether it be the kids or financial decisions or anything. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be in control of shit. If you want to know the truth, I don't. I don't
It's
want
a
to be in
lot.
control of
I
shit.
get it. It's a lot.
It's too much. It's
It's a lot.
it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one thing. Not knowing that I have, and realizing that I'm only responsible for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only responsible. Like something I learned in therapy, they said that our mind has like over 700,000 thoughts in it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that? But you
Mm-hmm.
think about it, all the little simple thoughts you have.
I think mine
We
double that.
It said we can't control the thoughts that come into our mind,
Mm-hmm.
but we can control how we choose to respond to them.
That's true.
So that was another thing. Um, I stopped blaming myself. I stopped blaming myself for stuff that I know I didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Mm-hmm.
something I had to unlearn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna blame myself for the action of somebody else's.
Right.
I don't give a damn what I did.
Right.
Everybody has free will to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say that I can't say I did this because I was mad at you. That's
Right.
bullshit.
Hmm.
So I had to unlearn blaming myself or feeling like
Hmm.
I wasn't doing enough when I knew I was and
Hmm.
is and always have done everything for my family.
Hmm.
Everything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not
Hmm.
talking about from no financial standpoint, even though I've always worked. My husband's, we
I
whatever.
was.
We
Hmm.
always collectively took care of them
Right.
in
Right.
that
Hmm.
aspect. But just for the most part, just not controlling everything, not blaming myself, knowing that I'm only responsible for me, learning how to say no, learning
Setting
boundaries.
boundaries. That
Oh
was so
my
nice. I would
God.
swear you've seen this, but I know you haven't because that was
No, I wrote
next.
my book.
Establishing boundaries. Right.
I
I'm
wrote
following
my
the book. You wrote the book, right?
I wrote
My
the
notes
book.
come from the book. You wrote it. Of course, you know.
So man, when I started establishing boundaries, that was the most invigorating thing I ever seen in my. I was
Saying
like,
no. Saying
that it's
no.
it's okay to say
Say
no
no.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
No explanation needed. No.
No, and it
Mm.
man, that was the greatest thing ever. Learning how to
Mhm.
set boundaries, and now that I set them, I set firm boundaries. Like
Mhm.
that's another thing I learned in therapy. Every relationship, whether it's a friendship, a work relationship, a marriage, parental relationship, um, every successful relationship has to have boundaries. You have to establish some healthy boundaries
Mhm.
because the only people that don't benefit from you having the only people get mad about you having boundaries is the people that don't benefit from you having them.
Or the people who you need to set the boundaries for anyway. The reason why you need to set them.
Yeah, and they're
Mhm.
mad because they're not no longer going to benefit from you
Mhm.
having them. When you don't have them, they run over you or they they
Mhm.
they they suck you dry.
Mhm.
But once you start establishing them boundaries, they're mad and they're
Mhm.
acting funny or whatever. I don't let nobody guilt trip me. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? My thing is in this point in my life, and I tell my kids this, my grown kids this, I tell my employees this at work. Do what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
Make sure you always doing what you're supposed to do. Whatever that is, do what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
Then if shit don't go right, if something go to the left, your conscience is clear
Right.
because you're doing what you're supposed to
Supposed to
do.
do.
And that's just where I'm at in my life.
Yeah.
Have I always been like this? No. But right
Mhm.
now in my life and from things that I've been through and the storms that I went through,
Mhm.
I'm going to always do what I'm supposed to do. I can't control nobody else,
Mhm.
nor do I want to. I'm only responsible for me. And in that responsibility, whatever it is that I'm responsible to do, I'm going to do it.
Mhm.
So therefore, things don't go the way I think they're supposed to go, or whatever the case may be,
You know you
my
did what you were
conscience is
supposed
clear.
to.
I know that
Mhm.
I did what I was
You did
supposed to do,
supposed
and
to.
I'm not going to question myself.
Yeah. So here's the quote. Let me make sure I don't crown this. But slowly, word by word, day by day, I began to see her, me, and I began to love her. And you and I had already talked about this. And under that quote, I have remember who the fuck you is.
So, okay. So,
And let me tell where that comes from before you explain what it was.
let me say this first.
Okay.
I didn't even know who I was outside of my husband and my kids for a very long time.
Mm,
Everything about me was wrapped around them,
mm-hmm,
literally.
mm-hmm.
That was my whole identity, my husband and my kids. So, how do you remember who the fuck you is when you
You
don't
never
know who
knew
you,
who she was from the beginning.
you
But
know?
here's the thing. That's the thing that I think you're probably not aware of. That's how you identify. But to the rest of us, the outer perimeter, outside of yourself, we knew who you were. And that's why we say she's a problem solver. She's a fixer. She finds a way. She can look at a problem and she can find different options. You probably could do this. You could do this. And even now, like I've joked with you, called you the real Olivia Pope, that you can
But you
fix
don't
it.
think you don't think
But
that was survival mode?
It was, but it was something that was beneficial. That you are an Olivia Pope. You are a fixer. You are a person who can problem solve
To
within
survive.
milliseconds. Yes, it's a survival thing, but it works. Most people don't have it. A lot of people don't have it. So when Lisa was saying, let me tell the whole story. So when you're saying you didn't know who you were, but to us you were like, and I know that's a running theme throughout your book. You was like, about being strong and about being strong, but we were perceiving you as being strong. Problem solver, fixer, ideas, give us this, and yes, we knew that your family come first. So let me give the story, the reason where that comes from. I don't want people just thinking like I'm just pulling stuff out the air. So there's a club here in Detroit, the Opium Lounge on 8 Mile. If you've been there, you've been there. Great
Mhm.
spinach. And there is a bartender whose name was Lisa. So I would go to the Opium Lounge because their happy hour specials were freaking phenomenal. And you happened to come one weekend, and I was like, let's go eat. Let's go get the
Mhm.
spinach. So we went to the spinach and we met Lisa. And we there and ate the spinach. And then we had the crab legs. We had the crab legs that day.
We had crab bites.
We had the crab bites.
No, the lobster bites.
Lobster bites, and it was really good. So when I went back the next time, and Lisa was there, she was like, "Oh, where your cousin?" I said, "Oh, she don't really live here." I said, "My cousin live here. She's from here, but not here. But she moved to Texas." And so she was like, "How's she doing?" I said, "Well, she's going through a little rough patch right now, and her and her husband going through a little something." And Lisa was going through something with her husband at that time, and she was telling me what was going on with her. So oh my God, I knew it was gonna happen.
Don't.
I knew it was gonna happen. So in her telling the story of what was going on with her, she said her cousin came to her because she said she was broken, like she was hurt. She was at a point where she was having a hard time, but she was still coming to work, and she was. I mean, Lisa's gorgeous, beautiful woman, but she was just having a hard time, as all women do. We have a hard time, when you're dealing with men. And so she said a cousin told her, "Girl, don't let this break you. Remember who the fuck you is." And so she was like, "Tell your cousin, remember who the fuck she is." And I was like, "Huh?" She was like, "Tell her, remember who the fuck she is." And I was like, "I hear you." So I'm sitting in the Opium Lounge, me, Lisa, and the cook that's back there because nobody else is there during the happy hour. That's
Yeah.
when they were open at 2. And I'm in there and I'm crying because I knew what you were going through. And I knew
Mhm.
how I perceived you, even though you
Mhm.
saying you didn't know and you didn't feel like you were strong, but we all had, everybody else knew that you were strong. Because I remember, like, Erica, you went to work, and I was like, you taking pictures with Mary Barra, the most powerful woman in the automotive industry. And I was like, it's people work for GM their whole career and never even see the woman. I was like, you standing next to her. And I was just like, Toa, like, remember who the fuck you is. Remember who
I remember.
I
Well,
was so
I
I
mean,
was like, I need you to bounce back because that's who you were to me.
and I appreciate that. And I don't know. A lot of times people see stuff in you that you don't see in yourself. Because, like I said,
Definitely.
even when I went to jail, them girls and was coming around me calling me mama, and I felt like I was the den of the mother. I mean, the mother of the den or whatever.
I never
But
said it
I'm
then,
just
mother.
den mother, whatever,
Hmm.
But just a really a true moment of transparency. I didn't know. I didn't know how to identify myself
Hmm.
outside of my husband and my kids.
Hmm.
I did not know how to identify myself
Hmm.
outside of them. So what happened after just getting towed down to the float from the flow down, just mentally, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Falling fast. I started. I got a dry erase marker, and I literally started writing in every mirror in the house scriptures. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Good morning, beautiful. You are
Hmm.
worthy. You are this. You are that.
Hmm.
So much stuff, like just all kind of affirmations. And I'm telling you, like, my bathroom mirror was so full. It was so full because I remember me and my husband was separated at the time, and I remember he had came home one day or whatever, just come over here, and he walked in the bathroom and saw it, and I think it scared him. He didn't know what the hell I had going on in here. But all of the mirrors, like every mirror, because I couldn't look at myself,
Mm.
and I couldn't look at myself because I was so broken,
Mhm.
and I just didn't like
Mhm.
what I saw.
Mhm.
Not because I thought I was ugly or nothing like
Right.
that. I just saw somebody
You can
that
only
was.
see what you were feeling.
I was so broken. I could
Mhm.
not stand to look
Been
at
there.
myself. So I put so much shit on the mirrors where you couldn't see nothing but the writing on
The
the wall.
affirmations.
And
Mhm.
I mean every mirror in the house. And my house, I like
Those big
mirrors.
ones. Right. Cylinder
So I,
door.
I mean, stood on the bathroom counter, writing from top to bottom. And I needed to see them though. Like,
Mhm.
I really literally needed to see them,
Mhm.
the affirmations. And for a while, like I said, they didn't really mean nothing because it just took a while.
Mhm.
It took a while before they actually got this absorbed in. But I journaled, and one of the things that I learned when I was journaling, when I had went to that one therapy program, is they would ask, we would have to write down at the beginning of each journal, we would have to identify what we were feeling. And then if we were feeling something bad, we had to also identify or say what were we going to do about how we were feeling, like what were we going to do to counteract that, whether it be go for a walk, be one with nature,
Mhm.
turn on some music, sing, clean up. Like you have
Mhm.
to be intentional about your healing, just like you got to be intentional about your loving, just like you got to be
Mhm.
intentional about your forgiveness.
Mhm.
Everything is intentional. It's not just going to come to you,
Right.
right? So I would like really, it gave me a chance to like really sit in it. And I think we talked about that before. Like sometimes you just gotta sit in that shit.
Mhm. Mhm.
It don't feel good, but
Mm-mm. To get through
remember
it, you got to get
remember
through
I
it.
want to say I just want it to be over.
Mhm.
Like I just want to get through it. Like
Mhm.
because they say storms don't last
Right.
always.
Right.
But I'm like, God dang, this a long storm. But I had to just sit in. I
Yeah.
really just had to sit in it, sit in the uncomfortableness of it, sit in the pain of it, sit in everything of it, because it really brought me to the point where I'm at now. And am I perfect? I'm not saying by no means that I'm perfect,
Mhm.
but what I will say is I am more than equipped. I am more equipped than the average person mentally,
Mhm.
because I have put in the work. And I ain't talking about a couple of months. I have put in years worth of work in therapy.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I practice what I preach. I say what I mean what I say, and I do live with love. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I ain't finna let you disrespect me. I'm not finna let you run over me. All that, I ain't doing that shit no more because I don't
Mhm.
deserve it.
Right. Right. That's what I was going to. Oh. Okay. So here's the thing. In therapy, in the book you mentioned in therapy you were met with the Me Too nods. Until that point, did you feel like you were alone? Like what you were feeling, thinking, and going through, that was
So I
just
actually didn't,
solely to
because
you.
you said the Me Too.
Well, you said like when you were in therapy, people are going to Me Too nods, like me too, me
Well,
too.
it wasn't really I guess could be the Me Too nods. But see, the thing about the therapy was it was so good because it wasn't just people that look like me,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
Mexican, white, old, young. It might have been a lady that was about 70 years old in there that was going through therapy. Like, and it
Mhm.
just really humbled you, and um got you to the realization that like really everybody is going through it. It doesn't matter. Like
Everybody's battling the
somebody
same
got
battle.
something going
Mhm.
on. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
the nods were just understanding like we was all really struggling with something, just trying to get through it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So it wasn't necessarily the Me Too nods as if they were going through what I was going through, but we were all going through something.
Mhm.
But we had sense enough to go really get help.
Yeah.
And that's why I said I am more equipped than the average person.
Mhm.
Not judging nobody, because like I said, everybody don't believe in therapy. I'm a
Right.
proponent for it. I'll say people need to go to therapy because it's safer to talk to a therapist once you get one that's catered to you,
Mhm.
that you like, it's safer to talk to a therapist than talk to some of these people out here on the street.
Mhm. Because they don't
Because
have any
people,
remedy.
they don't have no remedy. They don't know what to tell you. They ain't gonna tell you how to get past nothing, how to fix nothing, nothing. So I don't know. That's just my thing.
Okay, last question. See, it wasn't that bad. It was conversation.
Nah.
Last question. Now that you're not in performance mode because you addressed that earlier in the book, who is the real Erica?
hmm. I'm still a wife,
Mhm.
but I'm still a mother. I'm a grandmother, but I don't put everybody before me.
Right.
It's very important for me to pour into myself now.
Mhm.
It's very important for me to take a break when I need it.
Mhm.
Walk away if I have to.
Mhm.
Um, I need time if I'm having a tough time, or if we're having a tough conversation and I feel like something is not right. I need time to process my emotions. Like,
Mhm.
I am very self-aware. Ericka is very self-aware. Ericka's not perfect, but she's self-aware. Ericka has a high level of integrity. She may not have had it in the past, but she
Mhm.
has it now.
Mhm.
Um,
Growth.
Ericka still loves hard. If I
Mhm.
love you, I love you.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? If I F with you, I F with you. But
Mhm.
if I don't, I don't. And it's a wrap.
Mhm.
Period. Um, I feel like I'm genuine.
Mhm.
Ericka is genuine. Ericka is loyal. Ericka is loving. Um, Ericka is still strong. I didn't like that word, but I am strong.
Mhm.
I'm assertive. I don't like being called aggressive. Ericka is assertive.
Mhm.
Um, I'm just Ericka. Ericka minds her own business. Ericka like to stay out of the way.
Right. Right.
And Ericka only telling her business now because y'all think y'all know anyway.
Right. So this ain't what we thought it was, or
No,
this is,
it's not.
or it's not. But I
And I
mean,
think
it.
some people gonna appreciate it. I think some people really gonna appreciate it for what it is, and some people may be disappointed. Um, like, it's a high. What is it? It's a high level overview.
Mhm.
It's a high level overview of certain situations in my life, how they impacted me, how I got through them, how I got
Right.
over them,
And
how I
I think that's a good thing because, like I said, even with this podcast, with what I tell, I still don't tell the dirty.
did.
It sounds dirty. So if you think I'm telling the dirty, then baby, you have no idea how dirty it really is. But it's not for entertainment. It is, but it
And
isn't.
that's
It's
what.
more for me to tell women this is what I've gone through, and if you're going through this, you're not alone. You're not crazy. I've gone through it,
Exactly.
and this is how you can get beyond it.
Because 9 times out of 10, if you ain't went through it, you going through it. But if you around our age, I know for sure you done went through it.
If you ain't, you ain't in the
So I'm
or
just telling you
delusional.
my story. But like, I want to say this, and I'm not, I've been real careful to make sure not to say names and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Because I'm still like, when you coming from a place of healing, you don't really want to hurt nobody, right?
Right. Right.
Not intentionally, not to do
Right.
nothing spiteful. So I've tried my best to respect all parties involved, but
Mhm.
it's still my story to tell,
It is.
and I'm going to tell it.
Right.
Um,
And I should have gave a
I,
disclaimer that this is your story, your
it's
perspective,
my
because it's a
story.
litigious society
It's
we
what
live in.
happened to me. It's
Exactly,
how
from
I
your
deal with it.
perspective.
I was the one that
Exactly.
was depressed. I was the one that
Mhm.
I was the wife that had to deal with this situation and
Mhm.
had to get through it. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
I wasn't. I was the wife that
Mhm.
had to deal with that shit. So I'm telling my story,
Right.
right? So I talked to somebody because I, I sent a couple people a couple snippets,
Mhm.
just a little teaser of the book, and somebody responded to me and said it ain't messy enough.
They want the Tubi movie.
They said it seemed like it just need to be a little more messier. I said, I said, that's not what my book is about.
That is
I
the
said,
healing.
the intent is not to be messy.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not even a messy person.
Hmm. I've had that
So
label put on me before. That lie.
I'm not even a messy person.
Hmm.
I don't I don't want to be involved in nobody's shit. All
Hmm.
of my friends know. Don't even call me talking about nobody.
Hmm.
Cause
Hmm.
I'm not even gonna let you. And God
Hmm.
forbid if one friend or another friend, ain't nobody finna.
Talk about
I'm
the
not.
other. Right. Right. This is
I
putting you in
don't
the
get on like
crosshairs.
that. I
Hmm.
don't get on like that. And anybody that know me that's watching this podcast know I'm not lying. I
Hmm.
don't get on like that. But I said my book is not messy. I said this is not a fictional, and that's why I posted that on Facebook. I said
Yeah.
this is not a fictional drama.
Hmm.
And now 10 years ago, it would have been the Tubi movie. It would have been the Tubi movie for real. But I was like, this is not what this is. I said, this is about experiences, situations that I went through that are public knowledge.
Hmm.
Everybody freaking know,
Hmm.
especially from Saginaw. Your
Hmm.
public knowledge, talking about the shit anyway.
Hmm.
So this is what I'm talking about. This is how I got through it.
It's to let me fill you in.
This is what it caused me or
Right.
cost me.
Hmm.
And this is where I am now.
Hmm.
Period. And you know, I know a lot of people can relate. Things are
Oh,
very,
for
very,
sure.
very, very, very relatable.
Hmm.
But if you're looking for it to be messy and you know, oh, I pulled up to the fence at the plant and jumped over it, that ain't in there. You know what I'm saying? That's not in there. But like, I mean, in the end, I wish everybody the best.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Mm.
I really do wish everybody the best. Um, with their own lives.
Right.
You know
Because
what I'm saying?
we don't know what may happen. Like you say, if they haven't gone through it, I mean, it's a blessing if you haven't. But for those of us who have gone through it, like I said, I've been on both sides. I was the wife, and then I became the side chick. So my perspective on it is like totally. I get both sides. I get both sides. So I mean, it's not
Well,
that. It is not the let me give you the the dirt, because chances are if you're asking you kind of already know the dirt.
I'm proud of it, and
Yeah. Yeah. You should be.
situations that describe some of them are how I felt at that time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anytime
Hmm.
you're fighting for something that's yours,
You fight.
you know, do what you got to do. You fight. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Fight. War is
Fight to
not pretty.
protect.
War is not
That's right.
pretty.
It's not.
Mm.
Um, but I think that I'm proud of myself. I've read it. I've read it about 3-4 times already. You know, and I wrote it. But you know, I have a poem at the end of each chapter that correlates with the chapter or the topic of the chapter. And I don't know, it's like another level of healing
Hmm.
because somebody asked me, "Did you cry when you read it or did you?" And I was like, "No." I said, "I don't have a reason to cry now." I cried. Shit, I cried.
Then you cried in
Yes,
real time then when it was happening. So there's no
exactly. Like,
need to cry now.
no, it's just like another level of healing for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um,
Well, I
this is
cried and
my
I
healing.
still was crying in real time. I read the book and cried. I was like, "Ugh," because I remember what when you were doing the work, when you were
Hmm.
rebuilding versus fixing. I
You
remember
you
I remember seeing the metamorphosis, the change.
you remember the worst, and you remember when I was doing the work.
Mhm.
And not many people got. There's not very many
Mhm.
people at all that got to see that.
Mhm.
Hell, he didn't even get to see that.
Right. Right.
He
But
didn't
it's
see that.
not for him to
He
see.
can't
He
even.
is on his
It's
own
not.
journey, right? He has his own, because he has
He
his
can't.
own book inside of him.
He can't even imagine
Yeah.
that me.
Mhm.
Cause to him,
I'm
I'm
just a fixer. You
strong.
strong.
So
You
he can't even.
strong.
And I was talking to him about it, and he was looking at me
What?
like he can't even believe that. And I'm sitting up here like, yeah, you ain't see that. You
Right.
missed that part.
Right.
But it is what it is.
Yeah. And it's probably for the best because, like I said, he has his own journey. He's
Mhm.
writing his own book as well. Not literally, so I don't want people to be like, "Oh, where his book at?" I mean, I'm just saying we all have our book of life that we're writing, that we're all going through each chapter and things like
Yeah.
that. Because I mean, you've been
Mhm.
here where I was broken and couldn't get out the bed, and I was just like, I'm so broken. I'm just so broken. I'm so
Mhm.
broken.
And if anybody say, like, oh, I ain't never experienced that, they lying.
Hmm.
They lying. You ain't lived life then if
Yeah,
you haven't.
exactly.
And it ain't gotta be just over no man.
No,
You understand?
right,
Because my book, a chunk of it is about my marriage, but again, there's some things that came from my childhood that's
right.
in there
Yeah.
that broke me as well.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
I know for a fact that a lot of people have demons that they're fighting or unresolved issues that
Yeah.
they have. And like I said, it's all relatable. It's all relatable. I'm just really trying to show people that we really have more power than
Yeah.
what we think when it
Yeah.
comes to our healing.
Yeah.
We have way more power than what we think. One of the things that the lady said when I was in IOP is she said people get divorced every day. People die every day. You know, this is stuff that's happening every day. She said, what you gonna do? Stop living? You know what I'm saying?
Every
Like real.
day.
You know what I'm saying? So
Every
at
day.
some point we have to be intentional about our healing.
Yeah.
Like, and it's hard to hear when you're going through it, but when it's
Yes.
said it's so raw, because I remember for years when I was, going through stuff with my husband or whatever, he in the streets doing whatever, I don't know. And people used to be like, focus on you.
Mhm.
Focus on you. And that was so foreign. I thought, what the
Mhm.
fuck they mean? Focus on me. Like,
Mhm.
what does that mean? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But now I know what it means.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
really, I focused on me. I,
Mhm.
I did the work on me. I realized that I'm only responsible for me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I think that says a lot, even with him, um, to see that I'm not trying to control
Right.
everything or
Right.
everybody. It's like, shit, I know I can't control them, so I ain't even gonna worry about it. I
Right.
damn near be looking away. And I told him, I said, you always pray. Because one thing that he used to always say when we were younger is, I don't give a F. And I used to get so mad at him.
Mhm.
And he'd be like, well, it's not that I don't give a F, but if it's ain't nothing I can do about it, I'm not going to worry about it. I used to hate that, right?
Mhm.
Now I find myself saying, I don't give a F. And I'm
I get it.
I have to follow up with the explanation. I do care, but I'm not stressing myself over something that I can't
Can't
control no
change.
more. And
Exactly.
that is major for me,
Yeah.
because my stomach would be turning, anxiety would be so bad, because like you said, I'm a problem solver.
Mhm.
I'm a fixer. I'll be trying to fix stuff.
Mhm.
If I ain't break it,
I ain't fixing it.
I ain't trying to fix shit.
I didn't
That's a new
fix it.
me.
Identify the problem, fix it. And
Mm-mm.
that's what I just spoke on my last two episodes before this. That was my thing, finding wounded men and trying to fix them, heal them. And I'm not the person who broke them. I don't even know what a wound is. I'm trying to show that I'll never leave. I won't abandon you, but they're not worried about my abandonment. I'm not the person who left,
But
so
one thing I
I can't
learned
fix
about
it.
men is they just totally think different than us.
Totally,
Like,
they do. They're wired
entire,
differently.
like, we think like this, they
Hmm.
think like this.
Yes.
And even in the time where they may be doing something that may not be right,
Hmm.
right?
They don't
They
see the
not
ripple of the rock that they've thrown into the
they
water.
don't see it.
Mm-mm.
They're not even thinking
Mm-mm.
about it. They're
Mm-mm.
just
Mm-mm.
doing whatever it is they're doing. They're not thinking none of the collateral damage.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? Not
Mm-mm.
till they swerve back around or
Mm-mm.
whatever, or come to themselves, like the Bible say.
Mm-mm.
Then they see the collateral damage.
Mm-mm.
But we look in a more broad spectrum.
Mm-mm.
Like, if I do this, this is going to
Yep.
happen.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing,
Mm-hmm.
to see the differences in how we think. You know,
Mm-hmm.
or what's important to us versus what's important to them, or
Child.
what love means to us versus
What it
what love
looks like.
means to them.
What it looks like.
We just really we think different, but we have to learn and respect those differences.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
last thing I wanted to say, I don't know if you have any more questions for me, is
I'm
I
good.
I wanted to make sure I touched on this. And we kind of did in the beginning, but when I said I'm grateful for the accountability,
Mhm.
um, I am. I'm grateful for the accountability. I'm grateful for the partnership,
Mhm.
that we
Mhm.
have now. I'm grateful for the emotional safety.
Hmm.
That shit is worth more than gold.
Who you telling? Cause, mhm.
It's everything. To feel
Mhm.
emotionally safe, it's
Cause
everything.
it's when you don't, it is. It will put you on edge where you can't even imagine
I'm
where you
thankful for
don't
the
feel that.
transparency.
Mhm.
I mean, you know, I'm just glad. And I ain't gotta say I love my husband. Hell, everybody know.
Amen. Amen. Yes.
But
Cause like I
all is
said,
well.
when you took one path, I took another. Like
I mean, but I can't explain it. I can't
I get
explain
it.
why it happened that
But
way.
it's there's no right or wrong. And I love his daughter, my ex-husband. I love his daughter. That's Gigi. Hey, Gigi baby. I love the little girl. But could I have actually just say, okay, this is going to be a blended family and rewire? I don't know if I could. I probably could have. I opted not to. And I think
Now,
it's been for the best.
now, do I have marriage advice for people? No,
Mm-mm.
because one thing I don't do is I don't put my name or
Mm-hmm.
my mouth on nobody else's marriage.
Because you don't know. You only
I
know about a
don't know.
person's marriage what they let you know.
I don't know.
Yep.
I can't give no advice
Yep.
on what to do or how you
Yep.
should do this or what you should do because everybody is different. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? My path ain't your path.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your tolerance may be higher or lower than mine. You know what I'm saying? Your morals
Mm-hmm.
and values may be different.
Right.
Your definition of marriage may be different.
Right. What it
Um,
looks like.
I
What it
remember
looks like.
I remember I was like I just wear this little itty bitty ring, this band
I
now.
was going to ask you about that, but go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, I remember when I had a big old like 2.5, 3 carat diamond ring, and people used to be like, "Oh, your husband love you," and I'm looking at, I had a badass ring, but my marriage was shit.
Right.
I'd rather have a whole marriage and
Right.
a damn silicone band.
Right.
I don't
Right.
care about the things that don't matter no more. I
Right.
just don't, like, literally. I would rather have a whole marriage, a
Mm-hmm.
solid marriage with a
Mm-hmm.
good foundation
Mm-hmm.
than some piece of jewelry that signifies some bullshit.
Mm-hmm. The
You know what I'm
optics of
saying?
it, right? The optics of what it
I
looks
don't
like.
care about
Mm-hmm.
that. I just don't. I don't know. But I just wanted to make sure I said that because I don't want people to read the book and be like I'm trying to give people directions on what to do with their life
Yeah.
or their marriage because I'm not. All I can tell you is
What
my journey
you did.
and what I did and what helped me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do know that people out there fighting with depression every day.
Mm-hmm.
I do know people are heartbroken every day.
Mm-hmm.
People going through stuff because niggas gonna nig. I'm sorry. I don't even know if I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't supposed to say that on your
Yes,
podcast.
you okay?
But at the end of the day, niggas gonna nig.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't just talking about black ones. I'm
Right.
talking about it don't matter what ethnicity they are,
Mm-hmm.
what nothing. Men just be menning. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
I hear you. I hear you. They all just different
At
in
different
and the
times
same.
though.
Hmm.
At different times though.
Oh,
It could be
trust me, I know. Yeah, because the thing of it is, you like you said, you and Greg been together since y'all was kids. That wasn't my. I mean, it was. No, that wasn't my situation. I've done the homework. I made up for it. I was a late bloomer, but I did the extra credit late work later on in life to encounter those who, like I said, didn't have their dad, or those that did have a dad, those that were protectors, those that weren't protectors, that were cowardly, those that weren't, those that were married, those that said they'll never get married. And it is truly a different experience. They really do think differently. We feel
Mhm.
a lot more. But yeah, we feel a lot more. They're like, oh my God, this is going to make this feel this, and they go like, they think it through or think about it. And it's, yeah, it's
Mhm.
different. It's totally different.
Yeah.
I've done the homework, hence this podcast. When it's all said and done, I had to take care of me and the two who came
Hmm.
with me because when they leave, if these situations didn't work out with these men and all that
Hmm.
stuff, all I lost was dick and conversation. My light still came on. My kids still got fed.
That's crazy.
I know. That's all I lost. That was it. Hey, dick and conversation. And the
Yeah.
next one that come along, same thing. Well, thank you. This has been fantabulous. I have been
You
wanting to
think
do this for a
so?
long time. Yeah, you think not?
I don't know. I'm just talking to my cousin.
I know. I know. Without me bringing up grimy details of,
I
fuckery and
know.
foolery. But I mean, we've all, like you said, we've all gone through it. I'm sure there are a lot of women who've gone through quite a bit. Even what I tell on my podcast is women who go like, Alyssa, I thought I was the only one. Like riding by somebody's house at 3 o'clock in the morning with a bonnet, some slippers and pajama bottoms, and
Hmm.
then someone inbox was like, "Oh my God, I thought I was the only one who did it." And that's why this is so important. My podcast is so important. That's why it was so important to have you on here because not just to promote the book, which is great, but to also let others know this situation not may not necessarily be solely for you. You have gone through and you are telling what happened to you, how you overcame for someone who's going through how they can overcome for themselves and for
Hmm.
their marriage and for their family and for
Hmm.
their village. So I appreciate you coming on here. I
I
do.
appreciate you having me.
Yes, this was awesome. This was awesome. I have been saying I can't get women to get on, come on here. I'll be like, hey, you want to do it? And they'll be like, okay. But then some come up, and like I say, I get it. Transparency about your life is not that easy. It's not
But
that easy.
it's not that easy. But when it's out there already, like, who
That's what I say.
cares?
You have to live a part of it publicly. So it's
Yeah,
like,
I live a part of it publicly, whether it was accurate to their knowledge or not. You know what I'm saying? So,
mhm,
I know it's always in the back of people's head when they see me or whatever the case may be, or when they see us.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
it's my
thank
story.
you.
It's
Thank
my
you.
pain. It's my story. It's my life.
Thank you. I know, right? So get
Hmm.
the book. The book is not out yet. She
It'll
will
be out in the
release
next
it.
2 weeks.
Okay. She'll
Yep.
put the release date when it is going to be out. I will double back on the podcast and let you all know when it is available to go on Amazon and purchase it. And speaking of Amazon, thank you. This has been the Dick and Conversation podcast. If you've been listening to me on Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, or looking at me on the tube of you. And speaking of YouTube, like, subscribe, and share the Dick and Conversation podcast channel. My Facebook is Dick and Conversation Podcast. My Instagram is Dick and Conversation underscore podcast. My email is dickandconvo@gmail.com. And my blue sky is dickandconvo.bsky.social. Thank you, Erica. I'm
Talk
Elissa.
to you later.
All right.
Bye bye.